Derby County are still looking to rebuild their under-21 side as a result of administration. This summer, they're looking to bring in a whole host of new players after a big drop-off from the back end of last season. With a whole host of players being released, Derby County now look to strengthen that department with a 16-year-old called AJ Doyle from Celtic, a Scottish youth international. Shall we take a look into AJ Doyle and let's see where he fits in the under-21s and potential under-18 sides. So here is AJ Doyle, and the report from Derbyshire Live states Derby County have reportedly struck an agreement with Celtic to bring AJ Doyle to the club this summer. Teenager Doyle is only 16 and has been playing for Celtic under-17s. He is highly rated at Parkhead and he is expected to join the Rams Academy. Now, I think this is a massive, massive deal, especially for Derby County. If you don't know who AJ Doyle is, this is who he is. He is a Scottish international and plays for Celtic. And then we go on to look a little bit more. Just 16 years old. He is a defender. Obviously, as I've mentioned a couple of times already, playing for Celtic. And for me, I think it's massive that we look into these deals as what they are. They are development signings. Like, he's not going to come in and be a part of our first team squad. That's something which everybody needs to notice. It's a bit similar to the signings of Tony Weston and I think it was Charlie Lindsay, players who we bought in from Scotland a couple of seasons ago. Those players weren't coming in to be first team players. They were coming in to bolster the under-21s, bolster the under-18s. And yet again, I think this is another signing which is for that responsibility. Now, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and Euro 2024 content. Make sure you smash that like button and let me know your thoughts on AJ Doyle down in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys think about the under-21s. Obviously, it's quite a thin squad for actual experienced 21s, but there's a lot of 18s coming up to that squad for next season. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Who do you think the superstars are going to be? Let me know your thoughts and I'll catch you in the next part of this video. Derby County will probably have had to pay a slight fee for AJ Doyle, a tribunal fee maybe. There's not really a lot of details to do with the deal out in the public, but there is a lot to say about this. Now, so far, he would be one of 23 under-18s to make the move to England from Scotland since 2021, and there's 3 more already expected to move this summer. This is is it a positive for Scottish football? Is it a negative? Now, we're seeing more and more players move from the likes of Wales, from Scotland, from Ireland to the UK as a result of Brexit, because clubs are now looking for more homegrown talent to bring through the academy. And obviously, to be classed as homegrown at club, I think you have to have been at the club for 3 years before the age of 21. So AJ Doyle, by the time he hits 21, will be considered a homegrown at club player for Derby County. Obviously, homegrown nation because he's from the UK. So for me, it's a massive deal for English football because they obviously get essentially first dibs on anybody they want because of the money and the circumstances over in English football. The Scottish teams are probably seeing it as a bit of a problem because their best talents are moving away from Scotland, and obviously that then hinders the quality coming up through the Scottish leagues and then hinders the quality at the top end of Scotland. Now, you've obviously got the likes of Celtic and Rangers who can keep a majority of their good players, but then you've got other teams who sort of can't do that. Now, AJ Doyle is one of those players who is moving from Scotland to England, and Scottish clubs have now begun to offer a range of different things to players such as AJ Doyle to be able to keep them about and be able to get proper fees for them. Now, one of those is pre-pro contracts. Now, they may not have started their scholar, they may not have even signed their scholar, they may not have even been offered a scholar, but clubs are now offering sort of pre-professional contract deals so that players are attached to that club until, for example, with AJ Doyle, it could be potentially for another 3 years. Now, I do believe that isn't the case with this deal as a result of Derby being able to sign a pre-contract agreement, but that pre-pro contract then makes sure that the clubs are entitled to a fairly decent fee for the player and the training they've put into the player, the facility uses and stuff like that, because that's the whole point of like tribunal fees and stuff like that to make sure a club gets what the player is worth and what they've put into the player. Now, there is also some other commitments which clubs are now asking players to do up in Scotland, which is sort of informal commitments where they change like their academy forms to for 2 years instead of 1. That then brings an element of jeopardy for players being able to move in between seasons. And there has been a lot of talk recently about the likes of like AJ Doyle and players like that, because it's been massively noted, and I've noticed it a lot as well with younger players, sort of under 14s and below, sort of pulling out of their academies and going elsewhere. Now, this was usually sort of between the ages of 16 and 18 where that would happen the most, but it really seems to have dropped down now, and I think it's as a result of Brexit and things like that. You've got players of potentially lesser quality moving to bigger clubs so that they can fulfill their quotas for homegrown players and things like that. Now, what type of deal is it supposed to be? Now, it is supposed to be a pre-contract deal, so there may be a slight compensation fee due to Celtic from Derby, but there's no real detail on that. He is supposed to be joining up with the academy, but the big question will be, will he join up straight with the 21s? Will he have to go through a season with the 18s? I'm not 100% sure what the plan would be there. Now, at the age of just 16 years old, I do believe he'd probably go into the 18s. And then as the season progresses, they'd move him and integrate him into that 21 squad. I know a lot of the time the 18s and 21s sort of train together, because in Derby's current circumstance, a lot of the 18s also play for the 21s, a lot of the 21s also play for the 18s. So it's sort of one of those where you can train them together, then split them off for like their own match prep sort of thing. So it will be interesting to see how this one does develop. Obviously, AJ Doyle could have masses of potential for the Derby County Academy to exploit. And then obviously, these are the sorts of deals which Derby County need to be doing. Getting younger players in who can progress, who do have potential ability to go further in their careers and potentially earn Derby a fairly decent fee in the future. I do think AJ Doyle does have that opportunity, and it's going to be very interesting if he does join the club. Now, I just wanted to chuck over to this 21s sort of depth chart. Now, obviously, we know AJ Doyle is a defender. There's not really much more talk other than that. Is he a right back, left back, centre back? Can he play all across the back four? But as you can see, they are pretty stacked in sort of the academy, and especially sort of this is more looking towards 21s. Maybe some of these will mix between the 18s and 21s. The likes of Thompson, Price, who else can play? I think Banks can still play down a year. I think Perry can still play down a year. Eames, Hawkins, I think they're just on the cusp. Obviously, Allen, McAndrew, Wilden, Ogatolu, they can all play down. So it's one of those where Derby do have sort of a big collective of players. These are all the players that are on the retained list. Obviously, Fapatu, Tony Weston, Bartley are all still in talks over potential new contracts. We've not heard much on that. But it's one of those where they are quite stacked for sort of a 21 side. Now, I do think Doyle would probably come in and be sort of a mainstay for 18s and 21s. I don't think he'd get up to the first team so soon. Obviously, you do look at the side, and there's some players who, in my opinion, next season will be mainly first team. You look at the likes of Radcliffe. I think he'll be around the first team. Jake Rooney can obviously still play down. I think he'll be part of the first team. Darren Robinson, Dejon Brown, I think they're all going to be a part of the first team. So there is spaces available for AJ Doyle to get into this under-21 side. But it is going to be very interesting to see how that is handled by the likes of Jake Buxton and the other coaching staff within Derby County Academy. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. So that is everything you need to know about the potential deal for AJ Doyle, a deal which is supposed to be completed over the next few weeks. I'm really interested to hear what other deals Derby County do for the under-21s. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and Euro 2024 content coming over the next few weeks. We're going to try and stay up to date with daily reviews of Euro 2024, so make sure you do hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, smash the like button, let me know your thoughts on AJ Doyle down in the comments, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.